And every year in spring training, I would sit down with Ned and I'd say, now, Ned, my plan this year is for us to win every game. And he'd say, oh, you can't win every game. And I'd say, well, it's mathematically possible. And he couldn't disagree with that. But no, I am a very poor loser. Everybody says you play 162 games, you know, if you lose tonight, you know, by the time you walk out of the ballpark, put it behind you, there's always tomorrow. I can't do that. I mean, I still remember some games where we may have given the game away, unintentionally, obviously, but I don't get over those things easily, and it's hard. But if you feel that way, really feel that way as much as I do, it makes winning all that much better. I mean, the wins are really good.
Mr. Glass, I think with that attitude, you would have been a great closer, by the way. I wanted to ask you, you're on the board of directors for the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame, and I assume with your love of baseball, you want to stay involved in some form or capacity in the game. Tell us a little bit about what your plans are as far as staying attached to the game of baseball moving forward.
Well, I called the Hall of Fame when it was announced that we were going to sell the team, but they insisted that I stay on the board, which I took as a great compliment. And I have a good time there because you go to Hall of Fame weekend and you get about 60 to 70 Hall of Famers there, and they have one night for them where they can drink and eat and tell stories. And a lot of them tell the same stories year after year, but they embellish them to the point where they sound like different stories the next time you heard them. But I love that, and I do things for the Hall of Fame. And then with Major League Baseball, I will still keep some involvement with them, even though I won't with a particular team.
Well, talking about Major League Baseball, let's say you had a chance to wear a commissioner's hat for a day or a week or a month. What would you want to see from baseball moving forward?
I tell you, this game has been the same for 120 years. And the changes that are being proposed, I really don't like some of them. And I think that if you start changing baseball too much to make the game shorter or whatever, then I think you change, you know, the history of the game and all the things that we all believe in. And some of the suggestions nowadays, like play only 7 innings or, you know, or do all kinds of things. I think the one thing I would want to do is keep baseball as clean and as pure as it's always been.
Well, before we wrap things up here, just a few final thoughts. One, and I want to bring back and just talk a little bit about your sense of humor, which we have really enjoyed over the years. And I think you probably agree with me, Monty. My favorite moment interviewing you or just being around you was in Detroit, and we had you on, and you guys had exceeded expectations for the year, and you really wanted to make sure that the prediction services, the online services that had you guys at, what was it, 70 wins for the year, that you wanted to make sure that they knew that they got it right.
Yeah, that was the forecast. We were forecast to win 72 games, and this is the year we won it all. But when we were talking in Detroit, I indicated that we did win 72 at that point. You know, we won a lot more later, but we got to 72 a little quicker than the forecasters thought we would.
Yeah, and so they were right indeed. What would you say, looking back now, was, I mean, I know winning the World Championship was the crowning achievement for sure. Everybody loved that moment. What's the legacy? How do you want the world of baseball in Kansas City to remember, not just you, the Glass family and your time? Again, you guys are still here, but how would you want to remember the legacy of the Glass family and the Royals? That we love the Royals, we love Kansas City. I have great appreciation for the fans who have supported us. One of the most unique things I've ever experienced or been involved in was the parade. The people here will never forget those things. But if I go back to the beginning of our ownership, at that time, baseball was sort of in a turmoil. They were trying to contract 2 teams. They were going to go from 30 down to 28.
They wanted to contract the Royals, and we stopped that. And so they wound up not contracting two teams, but just moving Montreal. But that's all gone away, and we now have some revenue sharing, which helps the small markets a little bit. But some of the things that have been accomplished with Major League Baseball, which helped the Royals, have solidified this franchise here in this town, and there's no danger of the Royals ever going anywhere anymore. What we need to do, though, is we need to consistently win world championships here so that we can all enjoy that. Well, this 20 years, the good and the bad, I wouldn't trade it for anything, and I'll miss it terribly, but I will also tell the fans that John Sherman is going to be a great owner. I know John well enough, and he's a baseball nut like I am. He'll do a good job, and he'll bring a lot of success to Kansas City.